They say love makes you blind, but sometimes it just makes you notice too late. My name is Victoria, and I used to think I had a good marriage, not perfect, but comfortable. My husband, Aaron, and I had been together for 6 years, building a little life with secondhand furniture and quiet rituals. We weren't flashy, but we were steady. At least, that's what I thought. Then, one day, the rhythm changed. He became obsessed with the gym, runs before dawn, training after work, strict meals that made dinner feel like homework. He talked about protein, macros, and routines as if they were commandments. I teased him at first, but his laughs got shorter, like his mind was somewhere else. Other changes followed: new cologne, perfectly fitted shirts, haircuts every 2 weeks. He took longer in the mirror, adjusting and inspecting. I told myself people change, but a quiet unease started to grow, the kind you can't explain, only feel. Our evenings used to be sacred: takeout on the couch, silly shows, real conversations. Now, he scrolled with his phone face down and notifications off. When I asked who he was texting, he said, "A friend from the gym." Trust didn't break in a moment, it eroded, a little each night. One dinner, with cold pasta between us, I asked softly, "Are you happy, Aaron?" He smiled without meeting my eyes. "Of course," he said. But his gaze stayed on the plate, and the answer hung there like steam that never rose. The next morning I found a folded receipt in his pocket. "Don't forget, 7 a.m. tomorrow," signed with a single letter, M. "Who's M?" I asked that night. He paused just a second too long and said, "Monica, a trainer helping with my form." His voice was calm, like he had practiced the answer. In the days that followed, my mind argued with my heart. I wanted to believe him, but I could smell perfume that wasn't mine after his late workouts. So on a cold Thursday, I followed him to the gym. He parked and went inside. 10 minutes later, she arrived. Monica, confident, toned, smiling like she belonged to the place. She greeted him with a warmth that didn't belong to clients and trainers. Then she kissed him, not an accident, not a quick hello, familiar, certain. My hands went numb on the steering wheel. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I just watched the life I knew tilt on its axis. I drove home in silence and sat on the floor beneath our wedding photo. And I made myself a promise: I will not shout, I will not beg, I will plan. That night, I waited for his breathing to slow before reaching for his phone. Our anniversary date still unlocked it. The irony almost made me laugh. Messages from Monica filled the screen: photos, plans, voice notes, flirty emojis. "Hope your wife stays clueless," one message read. "She seems sweet." I took screenshots of everything: texts, timestamps, reservations, the playlist called Our Motivation. I emailed them to myself under a folder named Insurance. It wasn't rage anymore, it was precision. He kissed my cheek in the morning and said "love you," like a man rehearsing a role. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and began a list: gather, don't react, get close. Then I called the gym. "Hi, I'd like personal training," I said, "if possible, with Monica." "You're lucky," the receptionist said. "She just had a spot open." "Perfect," I replied, steadying my voice while my heart hammered. The gym smelled like rubber mats and ambition. Monica greeted me with a bright smile and a firm handshake. "Hi, I'm Monica. What are your goals?" "To feel stronger," I said, the truest thing I would speak to her. She corrected my posture, counted reps, and encouraged me. I studied everything: her perfume, her cadence, the way she smiled when she thought no one was watching. She was confident, almost charming. Leaving the gym, sweat cooling on my neck, I realized something had shifted. I wasn't the betrayed wife in a corner anymore. I had walked into the heart of their secret, and neither of them knew. For the first time in months, I felt powerful. 2 weeks in, Monica started asking about my life between sets, where I worked, what I did for fun. I kept answers simple. I did not say her late-night messages lit up the same house I slept in. She was good at her job: attentive, encouraging, exact about form. She logged notes like "strong today" and "great control." It felt unfair that I could like the person who was hurting me without knowing she was doing it. After a Tuesday session, she asked me to get coffee. We sat at a window table smelling of cinnamon and steam. She told me she'd moved to the city 5 years ago and stayed because she loved watching people surprise themselves. Her brightness felt practiced and genuine at once. She never mentioned Aaron, not once. I realized she compartmentalized trainer Monica and secret Monica, both real, both incomplete. I changed too. I slept better, cooked kindly, found a therapist who asked quiet questions. You are mourning and planning at the same time, she said. That is why you are tired. At home, Aaron noticed without understanding, small offers to help, earlier evenings, the phone left face up sometimes. We watched an old movie. Halfway through he rested his head against my shoulder like an apology that didn't use words. I didn't move. I didn't forgive either. Monica began texting outside scheduling, a mobility video, a charity class invite. She introduced me as a client who works harder than she thinks she can. People clapped. I blushed. It was complicated to accept praise from someone I was quietly dismantling. One quiet Wednesday she said she was tired of people who only came alive under mirrors and lights. She didn't say his name. I heard it anyway. When she suggested we celebrate my progress with dinner, I chose an elegant, calm place downtown. It felt like the right table to end a chapter. The day before that dinner, Aaron left a printed reservation on the counter, the anniversary restaurant with linen napkins and small candles. He said we needed time together again. I saw two truths. He wanted forgiveness, and he did not want to confess. I told him I already had plans. He asked, with too casual air, "Oh, with a friend?" "Yes," I said, "a friend." He nodded like he believed me and like he didn't know how to ask what he feared. I arrived early for dinner with Monica and chose a table facing the door. She came in glowing, talking about classes and clients. We ordered, shared an appetizer, and for a while it felt normal. I told her she'd believed in my strength before I did. She said that was her favorite part of the job. Then the door opened. Aaron paused at the entrance, eyes adjusting, scanning the room. He saw me, then Monica. Recognition moved across his face like a slow shadow. Monica's color drained. She whispered my name like a question. I stood. I didn't raise my voice, but the room quieted. "This is my husband, Aaron," I said, "and this is Monica, my trainer and friend." For months, while I learned to lift, they practiced a different repetition: parking lots, hallways, calendars with names not spoken out loud. I placed a small envelope on the table: messages, photos, call logs. We signed a prenup with a fidelity clause. I told Aaron my lawyer will be in touch tomorrow. I turned to Monica. "You're good at what you do, but the gym must decide if clients are safe in more ways than one." I don't need an apology. I needed the truth put where it belongs. I paid the check, handed Aaron the envelope, and said 2 sentences. "This marriage is over. Please don't contact me tonight." I walked into the cool air, heart loud but steady, a door finally closing right. The next days were winter quiet. Emails replaced conversations. My lawyer spoke when needed. The prenup did its simple work. Papers moved. Signatures landed heavy and light at once. I boxed what I'd keep and labeled the rest. Friends helped wrap dishes in newspaper. We laughed at how many mugs 2 people collect when they think forever is guaranteed. I started sleeping through the night. My body remembered how to trust me. I sent documentation to the gym manager with a short note. "This isn't revenge, it's information." A week later, a reply. Monica would take extended leave while policy was reviewed. Consequences aren't fireworks, they're doors you are always going to walk through. After a meeting with my lawyer, I walked by the river and left my therapist a message. "I think I'm okay, not happy yet, okay." It felt like a small ceremony I threw for myself. I rebuilt my days with quiet habits: lemons in a bowl, a soft rug by the bed, slow music at the gym. Monica texted once, "I'm sorry." No defense, just sorry. I deleted it without replying. Forgiveness isn't a door you open because someone knocks politely. The divorce finalized without spectacle. I learned to cook for one and spent weekends without feeling a room was missing a person. At a small gallery, I stood too long before a shoreline painting. A stranger said, "It feels like where something ends and something begins." "Yes," I said, "it does." Months later, I met Jack at a friend's dinner, not a dramatic entrance, just an open seat. We talked about books and bakeries and silence near water. We took our time. He didn't ask me to forget, I didn't ask him to prove. On the anniversary of the day I followed Aaron, I wrote in a notebook, "Love isn't a performance, my body tells the truth early. Revenge isn't a scene, it's a life where the liar has no authority over my peace." That evening, over small candles and linen napkins, Jack raised his glass. To honesty and new chapters. To showing up for yourself when no one is watching, I said. And a long unsettled part of me finally rested.